into
But they're
removal
better
proceedings.
Americans than Americans, which is kind of crazy.
They are the reason for it.
So
Like
they're like the largest group of people that own homes. They're like the largest group of people that actually go to school. Like this, it's a lot of things that came out of this thing.
So yeah, I mean, bring this back to dreamers. It's like when they lose that protection, they're vulnerable to literally an ICE agent coming to their home, coming to their place of work,
and what authority?
And saying,
can ICE like raid
800,000 people, right?
ICE has authority to arrest undocumented immigrants anywhere they find them.
Break the door down of someone's house like a drug style
What
raid.
they would do is they would enlist local sheriff if they had. They would have to get an actual warrant to search the home, and then if the homeowner will not let them in, then the local sheriff has to use whatever measures they need to use to get into the home, and that could be breaking in the door.
And you know, like roughly,
I have to tell my clients all the time. I'm like, they're always like, well, look, if I go here, do I have a problem? If I go here, do I have a problem? And I hate to be alarmist to these folks, but it's like, look, you are in danger of being arrested by ICE at any moment, at any time, at any place. You can be in your home, you can be in your car, you can be at your work, you can be at your children's school, you can be at your kids' play, you can be at your soccer game, you could be at your bowling match, you could be in court filing papers against somebody who's been domestically abusing you.
Yeah.
I mean,
So what's the process? Like say ICE comes, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the normal window of time between you getting detained by ICE and you getting on a plane and going back to El Salvador or back to Nicaragua or back to Guatemala? What's the window?
That's a great question. That's a great question, and it's and a lot of it depends on when they catch you. So there's one of two. Most undocumented immigrants who are my clients have crossed the border.
Yes.
Usually in Texas, sometimes in Arizona, sometimes California, but most of them in Texas. And so if you are detained, well, first, let's say if you're not detained. So let's say you get through and you get scot through and nobody detains you and you find yourself in a town and you're able to get on a bus and go to where your relatives live in Maryland and, everything's good. You've never been arrested by ICE. So if they arrest you, basically, in order to deport you, they need an order from an immigration judge, a deportation order. So if they arrest you and there's no already order of deportation against you, they'll put you into what's called removal proceedings, which is basically immigration court. So then the government, you have the Department of Homeland Security.
Are you detained at that point, or can you get home?
Process. So you are detained initially. There is a process for getting bond.
That's fucking balls, dude.
But it's more difficult than getting bond in circuit court. Yeah, you get pulled over, you get taken in for a DUI, or you get arrested for domestic violence or something like that. You can be bonded out.
So you're telling me beating your wife.
Quick.
So if you beat your wife, you can get out faster than fucking a DACA case.
It's different. Yep. They're different court systems, and therein lies the problem. We have an immigration court system right now that has a backlog of over 600,000 cases nationwide. Like, so I have cases literally right now that are active that have trial dates in 2021.
Wow. So they can stay till 2021.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're out on bond.
That's not a bad thing though, in that sense.
And then if depending on what your defense is in immigration court, you also may be able to get work authorization. If you have an asylum claim, you may be able to get work authorization. But they'll put you into immigration court is basically what'll happen. And then that's a process that can take, it depends on the court. I practice right now primarily in the Arlington court and the Baltimore immigration courts. And I feel like maybe the Arlington's a little bit busier, but they're both roughly the same. I mean, it's taking anywhere from, a year and a half to 3 years to get from start to finish to one of these cases.
That's insane.
How much of these immigrants actually have the financial access to lawyers that can help them or that can possibly keep them in the United States longer?
Yeah. So as a lawyer who, I get paid from my clients, I can tell you that they do, I think, value having an immigration lawyer, especially when they're.
Is there pro bono services for this?
There are pro bono services for it. There are pro bono services available. Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Washington, D.C. does a lot of
I've gone there,
pro bono.
Actually, myself.
A lot of pro bono immigration work that they do. I have currently 3 pro bono cases through Catholic Charities. And I know that there are other organizations, and there are organizations all over the country and, nearby all of the immigration courts. So there are pro bono services. It's always a question of whether you qualify for those services. I'm not a pro bono attorney. I charge my clients. I also work from home, and so I feel like with the lower overhead, I'm able to have lower prices for for doing this type of work. Most of these folks, I can tell you what most of them are doing and what their situation is. At least my clients. I can only speak for who I represent. Most of them are seeking asylum under United States law, basically saying that they are refugees from their home countries. And in El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, particularly, there is functionally a gang civil war going on. Yeah. So like the way you hear about refugees leaving Syria because there's a civil war between the government and separatists.